Am I the asshole for not leaving my brother alone after he called my girlfriend a dishwasher? I am, babysitting, my little brother, 13. While my parents are visiting a friend of theirs abroad who's in her deathbed. My girlfriend and brother got along pretty well the past few days. Last night, we went bowling and then had dinner at a restaurant afterwards. It was a great night because we had so much fun. We were walking back home after the dinner. My girlfriend and brother were arguing about Stranger Things. It started as a fun little debate at first, but when my girlfriend corrected him he didn't like it, so he told her, "What do you even know? You are just a dishwasher." I was shocked and furious at him. When he saw our reactions he tried to backtrack, saying it was just a dumb joke that he didn't mean. I told him to shut up and went to catch my girlfriend because she walked away. I apologized for what he said and told her that he will do the same thing. I knew that an apology wasn't enough, so I promised her I will give him a stern talk and ground him for the remaining time he'd be staying with us. She said that I didn't have to apologize because it wasn't my fault and that his apology wasn't going to be sincere, so she asked me to leave him alone to teach him a lesson about not disrespecting women and throwing sexist insults. I told her I can't do that because it was late and I wasn't comfortable leaving him alone, especially since it was a 20-minute walk. She suggested I call an Uber for him because she wasn't going to walk back with him. I refused again because he was my responsibility and I couldn't let him go with a stranger because if something happens to him my parents would never forgive me. She sarcastically told me it felt nice being supported by her boyfriend when she literally just got insulted. She said that my brother wasn't a child and that many teenagers ride in Ubers alone, but since I wasn't interested in going with her she'd call one for herself. During the walk back home I told my brother that if he insulted my girlfriend or anyone else in my presence he could forget that I am his brother. He started crying, but I was so angry that I told him to save his tears because he should have regretted what he said because it was disrespectful and not because I threatened cutting him off. I informed him that he would not be allowed to leave the room except for the bathroom or to eat until our parents come back, so he kept sobbing the whole way back. When we arrived, my girlfriend had just been dropped by her Uber. It was very awkward because they both were angry at me, and when we entered the house they directly went to the rooms and closed the doors. So now I can't sleep and had been just lying on the couch wondering what the fuck was I supposed to do. Not the asshole. Your 13-year-old brother is still very much a child. He overstepped, but beyond a word of correction this doesn't have to be scorched earth. He needs to apologize. Your girlfriend, however, is supposed to be an adult. She was out of line expecting you to abandon your brother on the sidewalk. She's the asshole for that. Now she is pouting in her room. Another childish act. Not the asshole, but your brother has to apologize. Your girlfriend saying to leave him to teach him a lesson is a red flag, to be honest. Who in the right mind would discipline someone that way? Especially if it's a child and it's late at night. Not the asshole, but I would make him wash every single dirty dish the remainder of the time he's there. Everyone sucks here, you're all assholes. Your brother for calling your girlfriend a dishwasher. Your girlfriend for trying to convince you to leave a minor alone at nighttime and getting mad at the fact you wouldn't. You for threatening to cut your brother off. That's a form of manipulation. You did teach him anything by saying that. Everyone sucks here. Your girlfriend was being ridiculous, expecting you to potentially put your brother at risk to teach him a lesson. Obviously your brother was rude and disrespectful. You only a tiny bit, but I don't agree with teaching a child. Yeah, he is old enough to know better, but is still a child, that your love is conditional. I don't think this warrants telling him he isn't worth loving. Tell him his behavior is the issue, not him as a person. Is she insane? Her response was ridiculous. Being upset was fine, but everything else was so out of line. You can't just leave a 13-year-old to wander the street at night or give him to a stranger. That's just begging for something bad to happen to him. He shouldn't have made that joke, so he's in awe. Threatening to basically disown him was way too harsh though. It was one incident with one insult. That is going to really mess him up. Basically says you would stop loving him without a second thought. Esh. Am I the asshole for leaving the house almost as soon as I walked in after a week of being away? Long story short, I 29 female brought my 3 kids to my mom's for the past week for a little mini vacation that husband could not attend due to work. He was fine with this cause he doesn't like my mom. I left last Friday and got back to our state this morning. When I walked through that door the house was a pigsty. Dirty dishes everywhere but the sink, clothes everywhere, half-full soda cans strewn throughout the house. Even on my desk, which is behind my husband's, there were easily 8 soda cans, 4 bowls, silverware, plates, water glasses and napkins. On my porch there were at least 12 beer cans piled up beside the returnable bin because his buddy Tyler came over Saturday to drink and apparently never cleaned up. Multiple takeout boxes and bags in both the kitchen and bedroom. My husband was in playing video games with 2 open bags of chips beside him and like 5 cans of soda on his desk. He nonchalantly asks me how my trip was as I was looking at the filth he created. It was spotless when I left because I grew up in a trashed home and have severe triggers when it comes to a messy house, so I always clean. Our youngest son said something about how dirty the place was and my husband said, "Oh yeah. Sorry. I haven't had time to clean," yet he had time to play video games. So I left. Took the kids to the beach. I can't do filth. I truly cannot do it. He knows this. He knew when I was coming home too because I called him as soon as we got back to Austin. So he had roughly 2 hours to even attempt to clean up a bit and didn't. So anyways, I leave. He starts sending texts asking why I left because he missed us, and I said I refused to come home to that much filth and that I found it over the top disrespectful that he would just leave it there, assuming I would pick it all up as my guess. He gets pissed and says he has been at work and just hasn't had time and wanted to spend some time relaxing on his video game before cleaning and sweating his ass off. I ignore it. He says I am being controlling and over-obsessive and need to chill out because he will get it done. So I text him about an hour ago, after 4 hours of being gone, and ask if it's done and he says no, that he had stuff to do. So I booked an hotel and told him I won't be returning until it's finished. He is now pissed saying he missed the kids and wants to see them now, but I'm keeping them from him, all because I can't deal with a bit of a mess. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Dude was living like a bachelor for a week. Picking up after yourself is not hard to do when you live alone. He created a much bigger job for himself than it needed to be. Not the asshole. The kids don't need to live in filth. He is acting like a toddler, throwing a tantrum because he was told to pick up his toys before he gets his dinner. Not the asshole. He was alone in a clean home by himself and he not only trashed it but let his friend do it too. That is highly disrespectful to you and to the kids since they are also coming home to a dirty house. You know it's bad when a young child says something because most lack a filter. He even went as far as putting trash on your desk. If he didn't want to clean, he could have kept his shenanigans outside the home or hire a one-off cleaner. I bet it would have been cheaper than you and the kids having to stay in a hotel until he cleans up. There is no reason your home should look like a dump due to one grown $dollar man being lazy. Wouldn't even go as far as saying child because that would be disrespectful to children. Not the asshole. The fact that he still hadn't bothered to pick up after you were clear he needed to and gave him 4 hours to do so is the nail in the coffin. Don't go back until he sends photos of the cleanup. You have 3 kids, not 4. He could have taken 20 minutes out of his busy gaming schedule to throw the trash out and wash a few dishes, especially after you've been gone a week. Resounding not the asshole. Tell him to grow the fuck up. Not the asshole. I'm just really wondering if he didn't have time to clean up the house when he was all by himself. When do you normally have time to clean up the house after 3 kids and 2 adults? Is he even a participant in the daily cleaning? Am I the asshole for teaching my baby to swim? My 6-month son and I just started a baby swim class. Parents must be in physical contact with their children at all times. Lifeguards are on duty, and there is 1 instructor for every 4 pairs, who is in the water with us. My mill hates this and has repeatedly told my wife she needs to stop me before I get our baby killed. Wife had no problem with the class initially, but after her mom started her campaign asked if I could wait until the baby is older. I don't want to because the class already started and is good for our son. I told wife if she had an actual objection we could address it, but I'm not okay with her mom interfering in our parenting choices. Wife said fine, but I can tell she's annoyed at me. I don't think Mill should get a say, and my wife's only issue is her mom's nagging. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. 1. Your Mill can't make parenting choices. 2. Your wife needs to deal with the nagging without giving in. 3. Your wife needs to deal with the nagging without taking it out on you. Not the asshole. Children drown with shocking frequency, and it only takes a second. Start them swimming young, you could save their life. Especially if you live somewhere with lots of water activities. Drowning is the 3rd leading cause of accidental death worldwide. The vast majority of those deaths are children under the age of 4. There is literally no downside to teaching your baby to swim. Only upsides. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Those classes are awesome for babies. They help them not be afraid of water. If baby were to ever get into water without supervision, the class could help save its life. I fully plan on taking one of those classes with my son once he's old enough. It's also great bonding time for you. If baby is okay during class, keep going. Not the asshole. Known fact: the earlier your child becomes water confident the better. It's great exercise for everyone of all ages, barring medical conditions that might prevent someone going near a pool, and it's a good way for you to bond with your child. Your mill is in the wrong and needs to be told so. Not the asshole. The entire point is not to get the baby killed. Good luck with your mill interfering in all you and your wife decisions. Better get that taken care of now. Am I the asshole for throwing the funeral party my late brother wanted? I'm 31M. My brother Tony was 30M and he passed away last Sunday. He was very ill and I have been taking care of him for the past 3 years. We went to foster care as toddlers because our parents did drugs and our aunts and uncles couldn't keep us in their homes. We reconnected with our bio family when we were in our early 20s. We were never adopted, but were fostered by the most amazing lady, our Mama Rosa, who fostered us from ages 12–13 till we became 18. We both lived in her home even after that. She is the closest thing to a mother I have. Our bio parents are now clean and we have an alright relationship. My brother wanted his funeral to basically be a surprise party. And I threw it. Mama Rosa helped me so much and we spent most of the day, yesterday, crying, but threw the party anyway. When people, mostly friends, came to the funeral, they got a party hat and a drink, and a short letter from Tony explaining why it's a party. His friends, knowing him, took it pretty well, laughed it out, cried it out with me and Mama Rosa, and honored his memory. When our bio parents and a few aunts came, they lost their shit when they saw what was going on. My bio dad called me a disgrace and bio mom said I should never have disrespected their son like that. I explained why it is a party in the first place, and they just said they are disappointed and should have known not to expect better from me. After they called me some names, I told them to just leave. They left. AITA? Absolutely not the asshole. Have to admit the funeral you had made me smile. You gave your brother exactly what he wanted and everyone who knew him knew it was a representation of who he was. In years to come when you talk about your brother and his send-off, you'll do it with a smile as you remember. Anyone who was offended by it just showed that they didn't know him. Don't waste your time worrying about them. Not the asshole. 1. You honored your brother's wishes. 2. Let me tell you, a funeral party is a grand idea in my opinion. Celebrate the life of your loved ones. Not the asshole. Your bio parents don't seem worth the time or energy to be honest. Sounds like you have a family already, and they're not part of it. NTA. They didn't know their own son. Not the asshole. You did exactly what your brother wanted. It just shows how little your bio parents actually knew your brother to be annoyed at it. You didn't disrespect your brother, you did him proud. Not the asshole. Your bio parents disrespected both their sons by choosing drugs over their children. They need to shut the fuck up and stay in their place. Period.